Hello friends, and welcome back to another reseller recap video number 2. Today we're going to talk about my best sales in the year 2022. If you're new here and you don't know what's going on, my name is Veronika and I'm a part-time reseller. I sell mostly pre-owned women's fashion on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. And I did a little bit of that this year, a little bit of selling. And I wanted to share my best, like 10 or 11, I didn't count. My best sales of the year with you. So best sales of the year 2022. Over my 10 best sales this year, but let me tell you, when I was looking at, my data and my best sales, I had a lot of items that sold in that $60 range that would have been, number 11. So just wanted to throw that out there. These sales that I made this year, they're not like in the hundreds and hundreds of dollars. In fact, only 2 of my best sales this year were over $100. They were really good. I was really happy about them. But I overall don't really sell like higher priced items or high dollar items. When I find them, I'm really happy, but it doesn't happen, on a regular basis. If you've seen yesterday's video, you kind of know what's on my brand wish list and what I have found and have not found. So this may not be a surprise to you. All right, in 10th place is this Lily Pulitzer dress in this like light blue color with embroidery. I think I picked this up when I was sourcing in Maryland at the very end of last year, but then it sold in 2022. So these are all sales, obviously that I made in this past year. This sold for $65 and I had about like $4 or $5 into it. I didn't write down what my net profit was on all of these because my average cost of goods is usually anywhere between $3 and $5, depending on where I source something from. If I remember where I got these pieces from, I will let you know. But overall, my cost of goods is pretty low. So I just went by the sales price and not my profit. So this Lily Pulitzer dress sold for $65. I think I initially had it listed for like $100 and I kept lowering the price. But hey, did really, really well for me. Then I sold this Cole Haan, just a packable sort of rain jacket, and I forgot that I sold this or had this to begin with. It came in a Goodwill Blue box, and then as I was preparing my sales for this year, my recap, I was like, oh yeah, that one. I think it sold pretty fast. That's probably why I forgot about it too. But that sold for $65, and I think it sold on Poshmark. I also sold these Burton snowboard boots. I sold these relatively quickly after listing. I had them in my house for a while before actually listing them because I think I picked them up like in the summer from the Virginia Beach bins when I went there for the first time. And there's actually another item on this list that I got during that trip that did really, really well and actually placed 3rd for me. You may have already heard about it in my previous video where I talk about brands I sort of discovered for the first time this year. But anyway, these Burton snowboard boots sold for $80. Again, within 2 weeks, I think. It was really, really fast. And they were a really good pair. They were white, so I think white boots from the bins, people are hesitant. And I did have to clean them quite a bit. But hey, they sold, So very happy with that. And then I sold this Free People dress. Lo and behold, a Free People dress made it into my top 10. Who knew? I sold this on Depop actually for my full asking price of $80. I picked it up on Dollar Day. It was regularly priced, so I think my average cost of goods was between $3 and $4 that day. Sold it for $80. This was with free shipping, but I still made like a really good profit on this, like in the $50 to $60 range. Then I sold these Prada heels. Prada I found for the first time this past year and sold it for the first time, obviously. So these sold for $80 as well. I had them for a little while and then, they went and I was very happy. I was very happy they were legit too when I found them. They came from my honey hole back in Virginia. I also sold this beautiful Eileen Fisher light gray ivory colored tweed coat. That one sold for $85 as well. And that also came from my Virginia honey hole. So love and miss that place. I will likely go back when we travel down there for Christmas, so very excited for that. I might be there right now as you're watching this video. Who knows? Then another $85 sale was this Smithsonian cover-up piece that sold within a day. I pulled that out of a Goodwill Blue box. And it was one of the, I think it was one of the like regular $30 blue boxes. I unboxed this box live on my channel and I will link that video here. That was pretty awesome. Especially to unbox it live. Like, I feel like nobody would believe me if I had not done this live, and I was shocked. I was so floored by this. But yeah, that Missoni from a Goodwill Blue Box did really well for me. Okay, we're up to third place, if I counted correctly. And in third place, I mentioned it earlier, is another pair of shoes that I found at the Virginia Beach bins from a brand I never heard of before. And the brand is iPath. I think that's how you pronounce it. These are these men's shoes. They sold for $90, I think, on eBay. Again, I just wrote down the brand name and the price it sold for. So it's a good thing I can mostly remember what these items were. I had to look up the Lily Pulitzer, but yeah, these shoes sold for 95 bucks. Sorry, 90 bucks. I'm really happy with that. I think I had them listed for like 125 or so, and the person sent me an offer, and I was like, sure, because I had $2 into them. $2, and they sold for 90. For me, that is really amazing. My second best sale of the year, and I knew this was going to do well because it was rare, and it's not something I normally sell, but I dabble here and there. It was this Goodwin Weavers blanket, tapestry blanket with a beautiful scene of It's a Wonderful Life. It had, what's it called? Bedford Falls. The city where the movie takes place. Had this like snowy cityscape. It was so pretty, and it sold for $125. And I believe it sold on Poshmark, I think. Yeah. And the only other one I had seen sell had sold for $150, also on Poshmark. That's when I looked up comps, that's what came up, and I was like, you're mine, I'm taking you home. It sat for a really long time, and I think it sold like right after Christmas, which was a little bit weird for me, but I definitely had it through one Christmas season, and then it sold at some point later in the year. But that also came from my honey hole. Tapestry blankets. Awesome. I haven't really picked any up in a while, but I also just haven't found a really good one. And then my number one best sale from a ThredUp box, also, shocker, and a piece that I honestly probably would not have picked up at the regular thrift store, maybe at the bins, just because I underestimate the brand. And the brand is very tricky because, first of all, there's so many different lines of this brand, and it's kind of hard to figure out which one does well, and then also the particular piece that does well. But this piece, it's a Ralph Lauren leather suede jacket in this like warm kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Chestnut, I guess, brown. This one came from a ThredUp box, so I had like $2 into it. I think it came from my 50-pound box, honestly. It sold for $150. That was my full asking price on eBay. So needless to say, that was a good sale. I was really, really happy with that. I felt like I listed it a little bit on the higher end, but it sold. It's just so crazy to me. And it was I think it was a polo Ralph Lauren, or no, it was Ralph Lauren Blue Label. So Black Label Ralph Lauren is the really, really good one. Purple Label is really good. And then Blue Label is like so-so, but who knew? So I sold that for $150. I'm very, very happy with that sale. No issues with it, nothing. Yeah, and that was my best sale of 2022. Now, last year in 2021, when I did a similar video, I can link it up above here, my two best sales were in the $200 range. That's, to this day, those are still my two best sales I've ever made. Reselling has been very difficult this year, partially because my life has gotten a lot more difficult and exhausting, but also because there are no more stimulus checks and people are spending less money. They're spending less money online. They're spending less money on pre-owned clothing. And I think a lot of us have felt that this year. It doesn't help that Poshmark is like messing with our algorithm, and then they stopped messing with it, but now it feels like they're messing with it again because I'm not making any sales. I don't know about y'all. Unless you're selling, I guess, on Posh shows, and even then you're not really making great sales because you're just letting everything go for really cheap. Anyway, we will talk more about that in my sort of reselling in 2023 and 2022 wrap up, how I feel about it, how I feel about my business video. I'll share a few numbers with you in that one. That's going to come up, I think, towards the very end of this reseller recap series. But we're going to talk about Poshmark specifically and just reseller platforms and how they've been treating us this year, or treating me specifically. I can't speak for you guys, but we'll have a chit chat about that. And we can, of course, always talk about that on any of my Relist and Relax lives. The next one is coming up this Thursday on the 29th. So there will be a video that day, but there will also be a live in the evening. And I hope to see you guys there. Check out the other videos in this series. Do subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already. I'm putting out a video every single day this week, 5 recap videos total, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I think tomorrow we're gonna do Naughty and Nice. It's after Christmas when you're seeing this, but it's still before Christmas as I'm recording this, so it's still topical, I feel like. So we're gonna talk about my Naughty and Nice list when it comes to reselling brands. So look forward to that. Bis dann, tschüss!